Around the Ozarks is now on your FM radio. Listen to Around the Ozarks mornings with Grace Gooley as I spotlight local people, stories, and podcasts, all while playing the country legends of the 90s and the hit makers of the 2000s. It's on the Ozarks' best country, 105.1 The Bull. It's time for Around the Ozarks News, sponsored by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Thompson Sales, Advanced Car Care, Smouse Brothers, and United Plumbing. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Hey there, good morning to you. Happy Friday. We made it to Friday. The weekend is here, and glad you made it with us. Thanks for being with us. We're going to do some news this morning and get you started as we move into the weekend. Missouri's Attorney General is joining a multi-state effort asking the U.S. Supreme Court to step in on mail-in ballot rules. The group of states wants to reinstate requirements that ballots include handwritten dates. That comes after a federal appeals court struck down a similar rule in Pennsylvania. State leaders are arguing, in Missouri and others, are arguing that the decision undermines local control over elections and could impact ballot security. The High Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, has not yet said whether it will take up that case.
Okay. Missouri lawmakers gave initial approval to a new state budget that plugs a nearly $2 billion deficit by dipping heavily into the state's remaining surplus. After hours of debate, the plan stayed mostly the same, totals about $50 billion, with final approval expected soon before heading to the Senate. The budget is smaller than what the governor proposed and includes cuts to things like child care subsidies, while also shaking up how colleges and universities are funded. Some schools could see reductions. Democrats tried to make a few changes, especially around education funding and voucher programs. Most of those efforts, though, did not pass, so we'll see what happens. Overall, the plan raises concerns about the state's financial future since it relies on one-time surplus money and may face tighter budgets in the coming years.
Okay. Springfield Public Schools is moving forward with plans to upgrade Harrison Stadium. That historic venue was built back in the 1930s, could see up to $7.5 million in improvements. The SPS says the goal is to bring the facility up to the same standard as other district schools. Design work is now underway, and construction could start right after football season this year. And then the project is expected to take about a year to complete.
Okay.
The city of Branson has a new symbol to call its own. The mayor unveiled an official city flag during this week's State of the City address. That design features red, white, and blue colors and incorporates the city's logo. The mayor says the flag is meant to reflect Branson's patriotic spirit and bring the community together. That flag redesign in Branson has been in the works now for more than a year.
Okay. The carpet from the Springfield Branson National Airport is now in the hands of the Springfield History Museum. I feel like you know it, right? Do you remember? It was very unique. It has a river design on it. Do you remember it? It's blue.
Yeah, I've walked over it a bunch.
I know. I feel like you should know it. Anyway, the airport donated it, or donated like 3 squares of it to the History Museum to be put on display. That carpet has been in the terminal since it opened some 16 years ago. So the carpet's being replaced right now, as you know, with a hard surface floor that has glass and stone, like chips of glass, chips of stone, and the new flooring is about halfway done.
Yep, I was just in there Monday.
I feel like it's pretty iconic, don't you? The old carpet. I mean, I don't even have to like see a picture of it. I know it. Okay.
I mean, it's not iconic to me because I don't remember it, but the History Museum wants it, so it must be pretty good.
Yeah. Springfield Public Schools is honoring some of its top students with this year's Rose Recognition. A total of 59 seniors earned that distinction for having the highest GPAs in the district. Several schools had more than the usual number of honorees due to ties for that position. This will be the final year for traditional, valedictorian, and salutatorian titles. Starting next year, the district will switch to the cum laude system.
Yeah, I remember talking about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of bummed about it, but it's fine. I didn't get a vote. Only because I feel like if you are the one who could get the valedictorian or salutatorian, that is such a major accomplishment. So that
Right.
you're like the one. But with the cum laude, I mean, there's a lot of people, anybody with a grade point average above or at like a certain level,
Right.
which is cool, but it's just like a lot more people will be involved in that system.
Yeah. Okay. Drury University hockey wrapped up another strong season on the national stage. The Panthers reached the ACHA. It's hard for me to say.
Nice.
Obviously. ACHA Division I tournament for the second year in a row. Their season ended in an overtime loss, though, up in St. Louis. Drury finished with an impressive 23-4 regular season record, which is very impressive, 23-4. The program continues to build momentum in just its second year at the D1 level.
That stands for the American Collegiate Hockey Association.
Yeah, it stands for something.
That's what it stands for. I'm telling you.
Okay. I believe you, but I just couldn't put the.
I wasn't sure if you knew, so I wanted to let you know.
Fill me in. I appreciate that.
Fill you in. You're welcome.
Well, baseball is back as the Kansas City Royals open their season today on the road. The team takes on the Atlanta Braves with ace Cole Reagans starting on opening day. The Royals enter the season with some new faces on the roster as well. Their home opener is set for Monday at Kauffman Stadium against the Minnesota Twins. Meanwhile, the St. Louis Cardinals began their season with their home opener yesterday against Tampa Bay, and it was a crazy game. They gave up 6 runs in the 6th, and then they scored 8 in the 6th to beat the Tampa Bay Rays. I was watching the score, and I saw that they were down, I think, what was it? 7-1, and I was like, oh boy. This is a great opening day. And then they scored 8 runs at the bottom of that inning to win the game.
Wild.
9-7. Yeah.
Okay. Quick look ahead to the weekend. We told you about Nixa yesterday, and now Ozark, a family-friendly event, is happening there tomorrow. The OC Extravaganza takes place Saturday morning with free activities and egg hunts for the kids. Organizers say there will be multiple age groups and plenty of entertainment to be had. That event runs from 9:30 till noon, and you are encouraged to bring your Easter egg basket and show up early.
Yeah, it's I guess it's Easter, man. Next week is Easter, right?
Yeah, it's hard to believe. I mean, we've got like 2 more Sundays, so not this Sunday, but the following.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
It's awesome.
All
okay,
right.
Well, thanks for tuning in. A happy weekend, everybody. We made it to Friday.
Hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you back here Monday.
Have a good one.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, brought to you by Command Family Medicine, Heating and Air Paramedics, The Trailer Ranch, Hewitt Messenger, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. TGIF. We have temperatures this morning that are starting off rather mild. Numbers are in the upper 40s, so it doesn't seem like it's going to be that cold today, but it's going to be a change compared to what we had yesterday. And we are dealing with a bit of lingering rain on the radar this morning from the storms that came through late last night. Hopefully they weren't too loud for you. We didn't get a ton in the rain gauge. We were still kind of fighting some dry air, but any rain is good rain at this point. We want to keep the ground saturated, and it's been a little while since we've had a good soaking rainfall, so we took what we could get. I don't think the rain lasts very long today. In fact, today is primarily looking like a dry and breezy day, but you'll definitely notice the cooler temperatures that are going to be with us in the forecast today. That's the headline for you. We've got cooler weather out there, and numbers are going to be starting out in the upper 40s, but I have highs today that only managed to climb to the 50s. Mid and upper 50s for those afternoon numbers, and it comes with a breeze. So it'll definitely be feeling cooler today than the record-breaking temperature temperatures of yesterday. Wow, it was hot, dare I say, across the Ozarks yesterday. And today it'll feel more like March typically does, with high temperatures back into the upper 50s. We've got numbers that are likely going to be cooler because the reason that we had those showers and thunderstorms was thanks to a cold front. Most of the severe weather centered to our east in the Ohio River Valley yesterday evening. And overnight, now it's going to be pushing off on the East Coast, but it's leaving the cool air behind it for at least a couple of days. Today, we're going to see highs in the upper 50s, pleasant conditions in store for us this weekend. I think we've got the 60s tomorrow. We'll likely be back up into the 70s by the time Sunday gets here. And both days of the weekend look pleasant with sunshine and plenty of dry time to get out and enjoy. In fact, I told you the 70s are back on Sunday. It's not just the low 70s, it's the upper 70s. So toasty temperatures are back late this weekend with mid 80s possible in the forecast as we head into Monday. Then an active pattern, it picks up again as we head into the middle of next week, probably Wednesday timeframe next week. Early April looks active. In fact, I see a couple of storms heading our way in the long range maps. So we'll look forward to those rain and potentially stormy activity for a couple of times early in the week on the first week of April. Otherwise, it's going to be a nice last weekend of the month. We've got temperatures that are going to be climbing this weekend. It's a fast warm up as we head into the weekend with numbers likely back into the mid 80s by the time we get to Monday of next week. So today, it's cool, it's breezy. Numbers are in the 50s. You'll definitely want a jacket today, and the wind is out of the north behind that cold front. Tomorrow, temperatures start to warm. I think we'll be back into the mid 60s. It'll be a seasonable day, a nice one to get out and work in the yard. We'll be a little bit chilly. I want to mention that for Saturday morning, temperatures could flirt around the freezing point. So if you have any sensitive plants outdoors, Saturday morning is something that we'll want to watch. By the time we get to Sunday, it'll be a breezy day with a west wind in the forecast and temperatures that are boosted into the upper 70s. I think we're back into the 80s by Monday, so those warmer than average conditions will stick around. Around the country, what's making headlines? Well, a lot of the country experienced those record-setting temperatures that we had yesterday. And now much of the country is feeling the cooler weather. So it is making national news headlines, this cooler air mass that's taking place for the central and eastern U.S. That's in place today as well as tomorrow. We've also got limited relief from the heat out in the west. It's just a couple of days where the temperatures back off a little bit. I see that heat building again as we head into next week. Then we've got critical fire weather taking place and taking some of the national news headlines for the central and southern Rockies. That's a big risk for our friends out west. So lots going on across the country as we round out the work week forecast. All right, it's time for that Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question for the day. And the question that I had for you yesterday was this: which Olympic sport is the only one where the winner moves backward? Do you think it is A, rowing, B, backstroke swimming, C, tug of war, or D, equestrian dressage? And the answer, well, it's in the name. B, backstroke swimming is the answer. It's the only one where the winner is actually moving backward while they are crossing the finish line. If you're like me and you were wondering what equestrian dressing actually is, well, it's a sport that combines safety, comfort, and traditional style, which utilizes specialized apparel for riding, and it is in the Olympics. Anyway, you don't go backward, you go forward in that one. So B, backstroke swimming is the correct answer. Congrats if that was your guess. Here's the next question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow. What is the scientific name for the big toe? Do you think it is A, hallux, B, phalanx, C, metatarsal, or D, talus? Do you know the scientific name for the big toe? If you do, or if you want to take a guess, you can do that at the website. It's aroundtheozarks.com. Thanks so much for listening this morning. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Grab a jacket. Keep it handy today. You're going to want it with high temperatures only in the 50s. Thanks to our sponsors, Command Family Medicine, Heating and Air Paramedics, The Trailer Ranch, Hewitt Messenger, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Have a great one. I'll be back to chat with you first thing next week.